Hello and welcome to Craft Your Stash, where today we're going to be talking all things storage. We'll be talking all things storage in terms of in your craft room and storage on the go as well. So lots of different storage options that we'll be looking at throughout the course of this 1 hour show. If you're looking to organise your craft room, or perhaps you're a brand new crafter and looking at the best way to sort out your crafty stash, then this is the show for you. But it's not just me here for this hour. Today I am joined by a man who loves storage just as much as I do. It is Craig. Good morning, Craig. Hello.
Oh, good morning, Lily. Hi to you. Yeah, isn't it lovely? Isn't it fab how, two people who absolutely love their storage are the two that are on this show. Within this hour, we're going to have you absolutely covered, whether, of course, it's a storage bag for on the go, so your craft clubs, your craft crops, maybe it's just to go from the living room up to the spare room, or maybe from the dining room into the living room, wherever it is, we're going to have you covered. Same for when it comes to your stamps and also your dies, but then also, what about those pens and those ink pads? This whole hour, Lily, we're going to step you through the different ways, the different storage of all your crafty tools.
It's going to be a jam-packed show, that is for certain. Now, I always say storage is something that's quite personal. It's quite sort of individual to you. So we're going to show you lots of different options to find the best fit for your storage needs. Now, like Craig said, we both absolutely love storage, but it's one of those questions we get asked time and time again. What's the best way to store perhaps your papers, your cardstock, maybe it's your pens, or the best way to store things when you're taking them on the go to your classes and so on and so forth. We're going to be starting off the show today talking all things crafting on the go and how you store your crafty items when you are moving about, whether it's within the house, perhaps you're going on holiday and bringing a few crafty items with you. We are going to be showing you all the best items and the best products that you can store your items for crafting on the go. So Craig, what have we got first?
So we're going to be having a look at something that's probably the most, the most popular when it comes to our actual buddy bags. Now, we've got a variety of them, but let's have a look let's go in, because they've all got individual names.
Oh, they
so
do.
I'm going to take a load of these ones out here, and then we're just going to kind of start from scratch here, because what we've got is we've got our big one. So this one here, you can be using it as a standalone, or you can be using it to actually store them inside here. Now, these are even great if you do your food shop in the boot of the car if you want to. I've got a couple in the boot of my car because these are huge. Now, not only are they huge, these are incredibly strong here. Now, what you have got, this one being the lowest tote, so you've got the stitching. Now, where it comes different to us, Lily, what we've got is the stitching, the handles, they don't end there. What happens is they go down, they go around, and also through that other side. So whatever you're putting in there, it can absolutely hold a strong amount. Now, some people will say with this one here, well, how strong? How strong is it? Well, if you're able to lift it, it will take the weight.
Wow.
So if you are having your big juice bottles, maybe you're going about, of course, and just laying your cardstock in, whatever it is, it's going to take that weight. Because I want you to think of out the craft room. Yes, this is great. This is all going to be good for your craft room, but thinking about, the he shed, the she shed, the boot of the car, in the cupboard, maybe the kiddies' toys, maybe the dog's toys, the cat's toys, so that you can just throw them all in and then move them out of the way. They are wipeable as well as being strong. You've got the strong stitching, but then you've got your individual little pockets in there as well. Maybe you want to name them, maybe you want to label them. You can absolutely do that, no problem whatsoever. So this is great for your larger cardstock, your larger crafts, maybe your larger storage folders in there. But when it comes to these, what you're going to then be able to do is start to put all of these different ones in here. Now, within this one, Lily, what we've got Monica. Now, within Monica, what you're going to be able to do is, when you see the actual size, if you see the shape there, Lily, what about all your different mediums that you've got? Now, we've got different bags that we're going to show you, but you might want to put specific things in there. That might be your ribbon in there. Maybe you're going to use this one on the go and you're going to put your alcohol ink pads in there.
Ooh, great
or your
idea.
water-based ink pads. So you've got just your small selection of key ink pads in there. It could be, of course, the keys in the house when you walk in the door. That could be sitting at the side there and you can pop those in there. But what you'll find as well is the handles are at the top. And the reason being is, if I bring this one back in, the reason the handles are at the top there, Lily, is so that you're going to store them. And instead of fighting by taking them out, all you do is go like that, take it out.
How
That
easy
is why
is
the
that?
handles are at the top of all of the buddy bags. You see there, this one being called Monica. But what you've got with these as well, these are kind of like two parts. Because you've got your inner, that one there is giving you that construction, that's giving you that stability. It comes flat pack, but they're really easy to assemble.
They are.
Look at that, Lily, you've got two.
Amazing, and it just makes it that bit more strong, that bit more sturdy.
It
You know
does.
that things aren't going to perhaps fall over, maybe storing like your paints or your pots of inks or anything like that. You don't want them to fall over in transit. So by having that inner box within there, it just makes it that little bit more strong and gives you that quality look and feel.
Even when it comes to your hook and loop there, you can see if I really press that down, that is the sound of a really strong formed hook and loop that you've got there. So that one there being your Monica. So let's just pop that into there. Let's go in now. When it comes to this one, this is going to be good for maybe your 7x7 paper pads if you want to.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, you can go smaller if you want, but what you've got is a double zip round the side here. So you can go all the way round. This one doesn't have any hook and loop. It's zip formed, but what you will notice is that you can then come along and then you can, I'm going to turn this around so it's easier for me. What you're still going to find is you've got your handle at the side, or of course what will be the top here. So another one where it is a two-parter, so you can take that out if you want to, but this could be your bit box in the kitchen. This could be your recipes if you want to.
Oh, yeah.
Recipe sheets, recipe cards. Maybe you were a collector of those old recipe magazines where you used to get the recipe cards and you don't want to discard them. Why not start to use them in here? Little girls, their hair baubles. It could be, their little dolls' dresses if you want to. This is where we really have to start thinking, not just the craft room, which of course most of us will be using them, Lily, but where else we can be using them far and beyond. I mean, this one, for me, I know this would snugly sit within that compartment between the passenger seat and the driver's seat of my car.
Oh, yeah.
Or it could be in the back of the car. Maybe just put a little rubbish in there if you want to.
Great idea, that,
This is
yeah.
all the different things that you're using. We say
Absolutely.
storage lightly because there's so many additional ways. So let's then fasten that and let's put that one into here. Now, what about our lovely little Diddy one here?
Oh.
This is a really cute one. This is a really nice one maybe for your smaller pens.
Oh, yes.
Maybe you want to put your glitters in there. You've got that strong hook and loop on the three sides. So it's not just the front, but what you've got is you've got each side here. So if you are travelling about with it, although it's the hook and loop form, nothing's going to fall out. It's going to be stable inside. If you do have any of your smaller mediums, ink mediums, maybe any of your alcohol drops, anything like that, and it starts to leak out, it's wipeable. Now, they're not stain proof, but what they are is they are wipeable, so you can wipe out any of the excess liquid that you've got there. Maybe you just want to store it open with your paintbrushes in there. Maybe you're doing your water-based colour, and then of course it's a nice one just to use as that little container to pop what you're using. Maybe you're starting with a project, so you've got your ball tool, you've got your ruler, you've then obviously got your pokey tool, your craft knife, those sort of things. Now, of course, they're not going to close with that lid while they're all inside. But what it's about having those tools at the side of you ready to go, finish your project, pack them away, and then you can pop that one into the bag until you're ready to use it again. This is where we've got a lovely big selection of all the different ones. I mean, within this one here, we've got the Sarah. Now, we've actually put our smaller Memento ink pads in here.
Oh, yeah.
This is perfect for your alcohol pens.
Certainly
This is perfect for your classics. These are going to be really good for things such as your Illustrator pens as well. Your taller pens as well, that's going to work an absolute treat for as well. Hook and loop, you've got them front, and then you've got them at the side. You do get an inner plastic compartment as well, so it's another double, so you can split them up if you want to. And although we say this is great for the pens, this is a good visual to show. even although we give you ideas, Lily, you don't have to go with the ideas that we give you.
Of course.
I mean, you know, you'll know yourself all the different things that you can also put in there.
Absolutely. I mean, I use my Sarah Buddy bags for my tri-blend brush pens and for my tricolour pens. They work perfectly for those longer style pens like your tri-blends. They fit them absolutely perfectly. If I just want to take a few pens with me if I'm crafting on the go, rather than bring my large carry cases, I like to bring my Sarah Buddy bags. They're nice and portable. You know, it's going to be nice and strong and sturdy. You can see exactly what's in there. And the fact by using them alongside that inner tray means it's nice and strong and sturdy as well.
It really is, and that goes for the handle too, whereas that stitching is stitched into the side seams there, so that ain't going anywhere, nothing's falling out, and that isn't falling apart. So what we're going to do is let's move on to sew. So sew, the concept of all of these are exactly the same, they're just different sizes. They're going to be suitable for different things.
Going to be suitable.
It's going to be, I love that one there. How could I have missed that one, Lily?
Eat your heart out, Ben Mosby.
Exactly. Who needs Ben when we've got you, Lily, with that suitable pun there with that bag. Now what you've got there is, we've shown you here maybe your soft crafts, maybe your ribbon, all of those strips that you can be using left over. But then this could still be your scraps if you wanted it to be. This could be your refills in there. This could be individual die cuts. It could be so many different things. This one here, whereas the lid is actually longer. So instead of it being opening from the top, what you have got is that elongated storage within there. So maybe you're just closing it, maybe you're just opening it, maybe within this one, you're going to then fold that closed one side at the end, and then this one, maybe you're just going to have all of these excess ends just out. So if we open that one up, let's start to feed these through. You're going to have them a lot neater than I have, but it could be your zips here, zips on a roll. It could be your satin ribbon. I love my satin ribbon. So you may be going to have all those individual reels in there that we can then just start to pack that to the side, and then you can just pull out what you're needing and when you're needing it. So that's a good one there for your soft crafts, or of course anything from around the house. So handle at the top, so let's pop that in there. Then what we've got within this one, we've got terry. So terry is a really good one for your smaller alcohol pens. The Sarah we showed you is going to take your taller pens, your tri-blend brushes. These ones, same for them, slightly smaller, and that's because it's going to then, of course, hold your pens. You're still going to get some of your taller pens in there, just a nice little kind of, it's going to hug them well, put it that way. You're going to be able to then pop that top over the top, and it's going to hug it. Not going to be as freeing as the Sarah one, but you can still absolutely do that if you want to. Hook and loop at the side, but what you've also got is the hook and loop at the back. So instead of this lid getting in your way, Lily, you're just going to then fold that back. That's now holding in, and then what you can even do if you wanted to, fold them in there, then tuck that back. That's then going to get rid of all of the edges here. You can have it on the side. You could be taking out the pens that you want to. That could be maybe certain pieces of your cardstock. Maybe you cut them to like 4x6. You can have them all divided in there. That could be your smaller, deep, longer stamp sets if you want to as well. But a really, really good one, a perfect one for your pens. So double in there as well, because you've got that strong, sturdy material of plastic, which is going to enable you to split it should you wish. So you've got terry there. Then we're going to be going in. Now this one here, we've got Monica. Monica, we've shown you that we've got our coffee pods and our tea bags. So we're really going away from crafts now. Maybe you are out and about, maybe you're away for work, maybe you're away traveling. I don't know about you, there's a certain brand of tea bags that have to come with me. I don't care what anyone says. I like that brand that starts with a T. So therefore,
controversial, Craig.
Yeah, I know it's different from what you say. You like. We're completely different there.
Oh dear.
But we do like to take our tea bags. So what we've got is we've got our pods in there. We've got our tea bags. It could have maybe those little kind of cartons of evaporated milk. Could be the little pots and sachets of sugar if you want to. So if you are at the hotel, and I know you can always go to reception and ask for more, but it's always good just to have your own little stash there when it comes to what we've got for your hotel rooms, or of course it could just be your bits and bobs in, of course, your he shed, the she shed. That could have some of your screwdrivers in there. That could then have things such as your tools in there. Maybe you've got some packs of nails in there, screws. Whatever it is, you can then use that and store what you want. And of course, you've got your handle as well. And if that wasn't enough, we've got one more for you.
We're still going. And they're all going back into that big bag. They're all fitting into that large lowest toe.
All fitting, and even Mirrol's going to fit as well.
Is she?
Now you're going to be thinking of your rulers in there. What about your ball pens or your round ball tools that you want to then store in there, of course. Maybe you're just going to line up your blending tools, whether it's your circle ones, square ones. Maybe you're going to use your blending brushes to then store in there as well. It could be your pots of your gilding wax if you want to, your smaller pots. Maybe it's going to be your smaller pots and your smaller kits of your gilding flakes. You can store them in there if you want to. Or maybe you are a home cook, maybe you're a chef, maybe you're a baker, and then you want to use this to store some of your kitchen tools. What we would say, if you're going to use one for food tools, then have one that's a separate one to what you would use within the craft room. But because, of course, you've maybe been working with ice and sugar or flour, it gets inside here, take it out, wipe it, run it under the sink, let it dry naturally, then pop it back in there, but still formed by those three edges, that main strip at the front, your two little hook and loops at the side. Then, of course, what we have got is we've got the handle at the top, which if we just bring this one back in here, all fit nicely, and we'd still be able to fit a few in there.
Oh, yeah.
All with the handles at the top. All of these we're able to come along and just take out whichever one that we want from the handle at the top, slot it back in, turn it over, then that could go down the side of your craft desk, that could go down the side of your dining table, that could go in the boot of the car. If you're at Craft Club or Craft Crops, and we'll talk you through other bags and other storage as well, that could go under the desk. Such a great one, but this one, certainly the big one here, is one that I use even when I do my food shops, Lily.
It's an absolutely fantastic range of bags there. All of your buddy bags, all going within that lowest toe. It holds so much, whether it's your cardstock, it's going to be in your craft room, whether you're taking it on the go, or like Craig says, if you're using it for lots of other uses outside of craft, it's a fantastic bag to have in your crafty stash. Now, make sure you check out the website. We've got tons of storage offers over on the website. All of those different buddy bags you'll see over on the website, so you can take your pick of whatever's going to suit your crafting needs the best. Now, of course, it does not stop there. We've got tons more storage options coming up, and I think we're going to have a little bit of a look at some more storage on the go options with Craig now.
We are indeed. I'm going to bring in the big one first. So we're going to go in here because this is very, very versatile here. This being our craft taupe. Now at first you think, you know, you've got that nice big space inside here. However, with this deluxe taupe, what you have got is you've got the ability to divide it. Now you do get a double long divider in there as well. You get two of them. So you can then have that as one great big base in there. What I'm going to do, Lily, do you mind? Can you show your one?
I certainly can,
because you've got the dividers inside with yours, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to show you the difference, you've just seen with Craig there, the bag without the dividers, but here in my bag, we've got the double dividers in there, so you can actually segment your bag into different sections, but it's just as easy as just using that hook and loop system to just remove those pieces there, so you can completely customise your bag to sort of the items that you're storing within there.
Awesome, thank you for showing that one, Lily, because then what you can do, take them all out, and believe it or not, and yes, believe me, what you're going to be able to do is you can store your Gemini Junior in there.
Wow.
You can store your Junior, you can store all the plates as well, and then if you do have it assembled like Lily showed you, from side to side, it will even store your Gemini plate. So your A4 original Gemini and G2 plates will fit in there as well. Section it off, your card, your tools maybe, if you are just going to use it as one big storage, then you can put your machines in there, of course, having all of your different tools, accessories in the pockets around the side. You've got double pockets at one side. On the other side, you've got another 2. If we turn them face on, you've got 3 in here. So this could be that you're coming along and maybe your little distresser you're popping inside there. Maybe you're just going to put 1 reel of your low tack tape in there. Maybe you're going to put your car keys in there while you're out and about and using this at your craft clubs. You've got your side pockets in there as well. You can pop different things in there. Maybe you're wanting to store things you don't want people to see when you're out and about and taking this about. You can do that. And then a really good one, if you are using this for your Gemini Junior, a good one to pop the cables in there.
Oh,
you can
yeah.
pop the cables in there, keep them secure. They're not going anywhere. And then, of course, you can just close that when it comes to being finished with it. Still got strong, strong handles. They're nice, they're strong, they're sturdy, but they've got that cushion to them. And then they're held in place by these rivets as well, these metal rivets that you've got in there. So you know if you are going and then storing things such as your Junior, even with the Junior, that's going to then take that weight, no problem whatsoever. It is wipeable, it is shower proof, but what you've also got is the beautiful grey with that purple and the lilac floral rose all the way around as well. Good one if you are out and about where you've got the babies, if you've got the toddlers, maybe their nappies, their nappy sacks, the wipes, their bottles, those sorts of things under the pram, under the buggy, or maybe you're just going to have, maybe you've got one of those lidded futons in the living room or something.
Oh, yeah.
And you throw bits in there and then you
Yep.
can pop that inside, out the way, or of course it could be at the side of your craft desk. Now we say at the side of your craft desk, we do have other ones that you might want to use within this one here. This one's the portable one. So this is the one that probably, potentially, you're going to be using the most here. Because you've got the ability to store the key tools that you're going to be using within this one. So what you've got is a double divider on one side, but should you wish that to be elongated, Lily, all that you need to do is just open that, and that will then even hold your A4 plates should you wish. You've got these plastic pockets on this side here, so we can see if I put my hands in there, you've then got the plastic pockets. When yours is filled, this is going to be a lot more firmer as well, but you can see it's even nice and flexible. If you want, we do have these bases in here, so if I just lift that base up here, if you're not using it, see how it just folds down. If I do the same within this one here, grab a hold of it, it goes flat. So you've still got that stability just now, but then turning it around, you've then got the bungee cords here. So where you're popping maybe your pens in there, maybe you're going to be using your ball tools to pop in there, maybe your glitter pens you're going to pop in there. All of these tools that you like to use on a daily basis or on every single project, they're going to be there for you. If I go into this other side, we've got your 3 pockets as well. And this is one that when it comes to certainly here at Crafters, you know in the past, Debbie Robinson absolutely had hers, both of these ones, that one and that one, jam-packed full, because you will be surprised. I don't know about you, Lily, but you can pack so much within these ones, can't you?
Oh, absolutely, you can. And as we're seeing there, they sort of expand. So the more you actually pack within these bags, the more you can fit into them. They're almost like a little bit like a TARDIS. So the more crafty goodness that you're cramming into these bags, the more they're going to expand. And you really will be surprised at quite how much you can cram into these bags. Whether it's going to be crafty goodies, whether it's going to be items around the house, perhaps it's going to be your makeup, perhaps you're going to be using all those little bungee cords for your makeup brushes or sponges or anything like that. It's going to work for lots and lots of different items that you're storing. At the end of the day, they look absolutely gorgeous. I mean, that print, that lovely grey and lilac print that you've got on there, it's super stylish. So not only is it functional, it's super, super pretty as well.
It really, really is. And then what about this one? And actually, that's a really good point you made there. Maybe you are someone like a makeup artist. These are going to be so good, so stylish. And then if you've got all 3, or you know someone, maybe your daughter, your niece, your nephew, is then training to be, of course, in the makeup industry, then what a great way for them to have all 3 of these. If they are working on a model, then they can have the main ones within this one here, being, of course, the desk top. Now, you do get a sturdy base like I showed you within the other one. This one comes completely out, but what you've also got is you've got that zip. So you're going to take that base out, open that zip, and then that will fold flat that way. So if you're not using it, you can then come along, maybe you want to store them in that one there that you can see, or of course in that other one. Now this one, we'll call this the desk tote bag, because for that reason. It's going to be good on your desk. So maybe your key tools that you've got these individual pockets at the side as well. Maybe like your watercolouring, you've got a little cup of water there for you to do the watercolouring with your paintbrush, your little tub of water, your paintbrushes, it could be a little cloth as well. And then of course you've got the handles at each side. Individual pockets at the side, 2 on one side, 2 on the other. You've got 2 side by side, and then you've got a lid pocket with that hook and loop as well. Still with that grey and that purple floral, still wipeable as well, still shower proof, but really, really compact side that you will be surprised. I promise you, you'll be surprised even with the amount that you can store within this one, Lily.
You can store absolutely tons within each and every single one of those, and they all have that same beautiful pattern, but they all have different uses. So if you're going to be storing one on your desk, I know personally I have the desktop one on my craft table at home every day. I've got all my key tools in there, all my scissors, my pokey tools, my low-tack tape, my foam pads. They all go within that one vessel there, and it just tidies your desk up. Rather than having tools strewn all over your table, you've got them all contained within that one space, and you know exactly where everything is when you're wanting to use it. So lots of different options, whether you're crafting on the go or whether you're just keeping it in your craft room day in, day out. You've got lots and lots of different ways to store all those crafty goodies. Now, next up we've got one of my personal favourites, and I know Craig absolutely loves this as well. I'm going to talk all things ink pad storage.
Absolutely. Ink pad storage. Now look at the universal carry bag that we've got here. Now first and foremost, it is beautiful, stylish and so useful out of the craft room. Maybe before we delve into the craft room, maybe you're just away for a weekend away. Maybe you're out and about for a couple of days on the trot, like I can be here with Crafter's Companion. If we're on the road at shopping TV, you can put the key tools in there from, of course, your craft room. Or maybe you've just got that change of trousers, the top. Maybe you've got your smellies in there for, of course, your deodorants, etc., etc. It's really, really handy because you've got the space inside. If you are as well, maybe on the trains, great for the trains, but even the planes as well, because it's a good size for the carry-on. But you've got that big space in here, which does serve a purpose, which we'll show you in a moment. You've even got a hook and loop back here, which serves the purpose as well, that we'll talk you through. But even within the lid here, what you've got on the inside is you've got a zipped pocket, but then on the front here, we're then giving you another zipped pocket as well. So before we go any further with the additional pockets, Lily, I'm going to show you this one, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the initial purpose for these ones here. So if I open that back up, what you will also get is you will get a thick, spongy back that hook and loops to the back. And the reason being is because it stores your ink pad trays. Now these ones here are thinner, so therefore that's why you need that thicker sponge backing, which you also get as well. Now I say it's thicker because, Lily, if I bring these ones in, now these are for your, obviously, your pens. Now if you store them upright, these will also fit within the bag minus that sponge backing because these are thicker than your ink trays here. So maybe you are limited on space for your ink pads. Maybe you want to then have them stored away. As beautiful as they look, not everyone is lucky enough to have the space to store them out. Maybe it's going to be in the dining room. Maybe you work and craft in the living room. Well, what about coming along here? And then if I take one of these trays here, and then all you're simply going to do is pop it in. Now, please keep in mind, you're going to have that sponge backing, and that's just going to rest against that back end, and your trays are going to build up that way. So I'm going to take a couple of these. I'd recommend doing a couple at a time, and then you're just going to then slot them in. Please don't do what I'm doing, and that's back to front, left to right, upside down, etc., etc. But you're going to go in, you're going to have it facing yourself. These are going to lock into place. Because you've got that backing, because you've got that zip front there, it's going to hold these in really nicely, really full. It's going to be compact. They're not going to go anywhere. And the same goes for the pen. So if I take that one out of the way, you're, of course, if you're using it for your pen, you're going to take that backing out, and then you can take your pen storage. I'm just going to take a couple for now. Pop that one in here, and we can see that is now right up against the back, but look how that is spaced out. That's how you know that when you close that, that's going to be closed right against the pens. They're not going to fall out, they're not going to roll, they're not going to rock, they're going to be held in nicely. So I keep saying things such as maybe you're limited on space. What about the craft clubs? What about the craft crops? Maybe sometimes, of course, you get your ink pads and all that included in what you're doing. But maybe you want to take your own Spectrum Noir water reactives, duets, maybe you want to take your own pigments. Well, what a great way to, of course, store them in here. Then what you can start to do is, if you're using it for your ink pads, you can take things such as your blending tools, Lily.
Oh, yes.
Maybe pop your blending tools. Black on black never works, does it? So I'll just pop my hand in there. You've got that bungee Velcro in there with the pockets that you can pop individual things, and that's what's great as well. They're not just one medium-sized pocket. What you're going to see is you've got one, you've got two, they're in the side there, you've got them broken down, so you've got two smaller ones in here as well, and then repeating on that other side. Opening that one up, what you've then got is the ability to pop maybe your card in there, so maybe your water reactive. Maybe you love your colouring with the brush pens, Lily. What about you stamp out your images beforehand if you're using this for your pens? They're all there ready for you, or maybe you're just using it as a generic storage bag. You've got that strong handle. Every single storage that we do is always going to give you that strong handle. What you have got is you've got then those kind of bolts at the top. So if I turn that around, we can see we've got these bolts with that strong handle, and if you want it, which also comes included, you've got your shoulder handle that you can see here, whereas you can just pop that on your shoulder. You can, if you want to, make it longer, shorter, and you've got that padded shoulder cap as well. So if you are carrying it either by hand, like so, or if you are, this is where it's going to go invisible on my top. You can then go around the shoulder as well if you want. And this is where it's one of those brands, and I've mentioned this before, Lily, there's certain cola brands, you know what I mean?
Okay, yep, I do.
I've got tops, I've got clothing with that brand on it because I like the brand. Spectrum Noir is like that. It's so stylish that if you are using it out with craft, it's stylish to store all your bits and pieces in.
It most certainly is. It's a fantastic bag, that universal carry bag. So fantastic. I admit I have 5. Yeah, I have 3 for my ink pads, and I have 1 for my illustrators and 1 for my classics, and they work perfectly alongside your trays here. Here you can see the ink pad trays. You're going to be able to fit 42 ink pads into each and every single one of those universal carry bags. And you also have your pen trays. So if you want to be storing your pens, whether it's your classics, whether it's your illustrators, you can actually store 216. Wow, that's a lot of pens. 216 pens in each and every single one of your universal carry bags. So lots and lots of colouring actions if you are crafting on the go. Now we are going to give you a little break. Perhaps you're going to have a little look around the website, have a check out of all those different storage options that we've got available for you, and we'll be back in just a few moments for even more storage options.
Come in, check my emails, then lay the shows out in the studio, set pack shots up. Then I will get new polls, pick shows, solve any problems that need solving. We deal with other teams where we receive marketing suites, we receive boards. We pick samples to send to Hobby Maker. We pick samples to send to QVC. We will take the previous shows out of the studios, set the new shows up. We do floor manage occasionally, not all the time, making sure that the craft expert presenters have everything at hand that they need. Anything that they haven't got during shows, we will run about and get the products for them. Think on a morning when it's really quiet, I can get more done when there's nobody else in the building. Night owl. Morning. Coffee on a morning, tea the rest of the day. Savoury. Normally lunchtime. Craft along. mobile phone. Christina's chicken wrap. Barry White, you're my first, my last, my everything. Go home and make the tea.
When I'm working, it's quite busy because I have to get up really early to come in to work if I'm going to be travelling from London. But otherwise, I'm quite lazy. I spend a lot of time in bed. Best part of my day is when we come in and I get to see everybody. I really enjoy being up here. It's really nice to see all my friends, and this is my happy place. I do like to see everyone, and also, of course, if Christina's in, I'm getting my breakfast from Christina before I start the day. Early riser without a doubt, never a night owl. I'm in bed at 9:30. Bath at night, shower in the morning. I'm very clean. Tea, the colour of He-Man. Both. I like pancakes with bacon and maple syrup. Craft along because there's always a softer side to craft along. My phone, my life is my phone. Yeah, the phone and the dog, unless I'm coming up here and I can't bring the dog in. My favourite lunch isn't lunch. My favourite lunch is afternoon tea. That's what I'd like. Lots of selection of sandwiches, some scones, or scones, some cream and jam, and some little cakes. But I couldn't have it every day because I'd be the size of a house. Oh, that changes with the moment. My favourite song at the moment is Natasha Bedingfield, Unwritten. Or make myself a cup of tea and go and have a bath.
Hello and welcome back to Craft Your Stash, where we've been talking all things storage. We've already had a little look at storage, perhaps when we are crafting on the go, but we're going to change tack a little bit for the second half of this show. We're going to focus more on storage that we might be using within our craft room. And I know we've got lots of different options that we want to share with you. So Craig, what are we going to look at first?
Something that continues to be so popular, and that is our crafty workstation. I have to say, Lily, out of all these shows that we've been doing, the one day that I wore the wrong top,
I know, what
it's
were you
today,
thinking?
isn't it? I have to say as well, it looks like black, it's not. It is a navy, but just the way that it's coming across here with all of our storage so far, which has been black, wasn't a really good choice. Anyway, it's about the storage here. So what we've got within these ones here is this is so good for along the back of your desk. So before I was talking about maybe you're limited on space, maybe you're not fortunate enough to have a craft room. This could be along, of course, your dining table, maybe against the wall, but this is about even just having your projects in one. So you can have your scrapbook pages and your scrapbooks at the back, where we've got this really deep pocket at the back. You've got kind of like a medium pocket. Now you've got the ability to section these off. So you've got these little hook and loop dividers here. So that could be one elongated section. You could turn it into half a section and then two smaller ones that we've got there and there, or it could be a medium and then a smaller section there. So you've got options. Then along the front, you've got your shallower one. So you've got your shallow compartment where once again, you can, if you want to, break it down. So it's either one elongated section, or you can have 4 small ones, or you might want to have 3, you maybe want to have 2. It's entirely up to yourself. You've got that there. So it could be your little tubs of glitter, maybe on their side. It could be your gilding flakes or your gilding waxes. It could be some of your tools that are in there. Here, it could be maybe some of your smaller, thinner paper pads, maybe your packs of dies, your packs of flower stamps, any of your stamps, sentiment stamps, and then again, as I said, maybe your scrapbook pages or even your cardstock, because this is about that workstation where you've got everything that you're working with at hand, in front, project by project, or of course, you can use it as generic craft storage if you want. You've got your see-through pockets here and along the front. So maybe you're like me, maybe you're like Lily, where you've got those certain dies that you love to use all the time. So instead of packing them away, you keep them in front of you, you keep them on the desk, you pop them on top of your ink pads, the drop, the fall. Sometimes you'll lose them, you can't find them on the carpet or on the flooring. Then of course, just pop them in here. Visually, they're always there. But then if I turn it on the back, what we've got, if we've got, kind of like, we like to think of it as a secret compartment.
Ooh.
So the husband, the wife, the children, they're not actually seeing this. So when they're watching the TV, you're crafting away there and you've taken that bar of chocolate and it's hidden there and they never see you eating it because they wonder, what are you eating? Where's that come from? There it is. They're not going to know.
Magic.
But then, what was that?
It's like magic.
Like magic.
Magic compartment.
Magic compartment for sure, and that's exactly what it's like. Then you've got your bungee fishnets at the side there. You've got your pockets, so maybe things such as your rulers, you can use that to store the rulers. Your ball pens, maybe you're going to go in with your flower forming tools. Opposite side, each side, again with the double pockets down here as well. Wipeable as well, incredibly strong, obviously, has to be. You know, when it comes to any storage that we do, it really, really is strong. And many of you at home that will be watching and will continue to watch will be at home going, I've got 2 of these, 4 of these. We've had shows in the past where people have said they've got 12 of them, they've got 13, they've got 14. And that is because, depending on the size that you've got, they sit side by side. You might have them at the angle of your craft desk, of course, where it comes to that 90 degree. It's lovely, it's compact, but it's all about having that workstation, Lily, for the work of your project there in one, or just a generic storage. You know, things, you know, little girls and their baubles and maybe their little nail varnishes and that as well. You can have them all the way along here. Their hair bands, they can do that, of course. Maybe they're doing and writing their little diaries as well. You can start to pop them in there with their pens. Many ways in which you can use these, Lily.
They're absolutely fabulous, and I love the way of thinking of using them almost like a project pack. So whatever project you're working on, whether it's paper craft, maybe it's scrapbooking, maybe it's even soft craft, you've got that almost like a project pack. So everything that you need for that particular project, whether it's your cardstock, whether it's the parts of the project that you've already started working on, whether it's all the glues that you use in the embellishments, you're keeping them all in one place. And I think then it makes real sense why lots of people have multiples of these. When they're working on multiple projects, they can segregate all those different projects separately, so they know they've got everything contained within the one space and they're not mixing and matching different projects up by storing things incorrectly. Now, next up we have one of my other personal favourites. I mean, let's be honest, I have a lot of favourites, but this is one that's absolutely perfect when we're thinking about our die storage.
Yeah, no, this is a firm favourite for yourself, that's for sure. We all like to store our dies and our stamps in many different ways. And I reference that because it is no secret, Lily, I'm one, I like to keep mine in their original packaging. But when it comes to the original packaging, not everyone is fortunate enough to have the space. Not everyone likes to keep them in the original packaging. Many of you like to have our folders and our binders here because you can sit them on the side, you can sit them on your shelf, and their ease of taking out. Now, this one that we'll delve into in a moment, you've got that strong handle. You've got that rivet here. So if you're storing your dies, which we do know are quite weighty, as well as your stamps as well, but you've got that strong, you've got that wipeable material, you've got the Crafter's Companion original purple, you've got the little tab there as well, and you even get a little tag that if you're using this to store certain ranges of dies, you can write that on there, or maybe certain ranges of stamps, you can write that on there. So when it's on the shelf, you can have that facing outwards with the name ready for you to go. But when it comes to the inside, what you're going to be able to do, you're going to be able to purchase separately these little, I've said little, there's nothing little about them. You've got your magnetic sheets. Now, these are different from the magnetic sheet that you will know from your Gemini machines. So they are completely different, and that is because you can store both dies and stamps. The back is a non-cling surface, so maybe you've got stamp and die that come together. What a great way to store them. Maybe it's just dies, maybe it's just stamps. Of course, we are just showing you ideas as to what you can store. Size-wise, create a card dies inner panels. What about your foil press as well? We've now got our letterpress as well. Great way to start to store them if you want to. This is your triple ring binder. So maybe that's going to be certain ranges from Sarah's Signature. Maybe that's going to be certain ranges from your Nature Gardens or your generic Crafter's Companion collections within the next one. Because this is of course magnetic, this is still going to store all brand dies, not just ours. But then if we go to the back here, you've got that nice store space. So if you want to pop some of your cardstock in there, it will fit your A4 or your letter size cardstock, no problem at all. But even going back to the front, you've got the ability then just to store some of your tools in here. So maybe it's going to be your poke tool to use, of course, with your die cuts. Maybe it's going to be your die release tool, because you'll use that to take out all of the waste within here as well. Or maybe it's going to be low tack tape, whatever it is that you will use in conjunction with the dies. Or maybe you're like me and do still like to use a little acrylic block for your stamps. That could be in there. Little ink pad could be in there. Great way to have the key tools, not just for your die cutting, but also for your stamping as well. And it's a nice way to save on space. You can take and discard all of that packaging. If you're not like me and you do like to have, of course, the folders and binders, you can do that. But I know this one here, I've got the large one, but we do also do a smaller one that Lily's got.
We're certainly doing. It's exactly the same as that larger folder. If you see them side by side there, the one we've just had a little look at Craig there is that full-size large ring binder, and you see next to that we've got our smaller ring binder. Now the smaller size is perfect, of course, for those smaller size dies. It could be for your sentiment dies, it could be perhaps for your alphabet dies, perhaps you've got smaller nesting dies, it could be floral dies that you can see at the bottom there. It's going to store all of those dies or stamps if you do have those stamp and die sheets into these binders. It's going to store them all perfectly, nice and safely within a slightly more compact storage binder here. So perhaps you're thinking about crafting on the go, perhaps you just want to bring a few dies or a few stamps to you with your craft class, then absolutely this is going to be the one to go for, because it makes it that little bit more portable, that little bit more compact by it being that smaller size. But just because it's smaller does not mean it lacks any of those same features we've got on the larger storage binder. You've still got that lovely reinforced handle, so you know it's really nice and strong. Even if you've got this packed full of quite heavy dies, this can be quite weighty, but you know it's going to take all of that weight by having that really strong reinforced handle. You've got the zip on the side there, so it zips all the way around, so you can release and open that super easily. Then on the inside, once again, you have those pockets, so like Craig was saying, it could be all of your key tools going within there. Perhaps you're going to pop some of your die cuts from those dies within the folder to use at a later date. You could be storing those within there. And then you've got your 3 ring system here where you can store all of those magnetic sheets jam-packed full of dies to store nice and safely. And when you want to store it all in one go and take it perhaps to your craft classes with you, all you need to do is just zip that up and you've got that lovely, strong, but slightly more compact storage. When we compare it to the larger size, you can see they're going to work hand in hand, sit together beautifully, but just give you different options for different sizes of your dies. So next up, I think we've got some more boxes. We're going to have a little look at some fantastic stash and stack, always hard to get your teeth around, stash and stack boxes with Craig.
Yeah, these are, you know, I'm going to say off the back of these are probably one of the, or if not, like the second most popular, maybe in some cases, the most popular forms of storage that we do, because we've got 2 options that you can tend to go for here. And this is your opened one. Now what I mean by that is this is classed as your multi-store. So you're going to be able to hold and store your larger cardstock in here. Incredibly strong plastic that you've got. The circles in here aren't just there for decorative design. What these are there for is for you to create that stability, knowing that if you are popping all of your cardstock inside there, what's not going to happen is it's not going to buckle out, it's not going to bend out, because those circular designs that are joined section by section are creating that strong base for you to pop your card or any of your heavyweight tools there. So what you've then got is you've got your lid as well. Now you've got the lid that then clips into place there. So that clips over the edge. So if you are storing individual things that we'll talk you through in a moment, then you know that you can then move, you can then handle, you can pop to the side, you can lift up. You know that all of the bits are not going to fall out. You've also got the ability of stacking on top. What we've got here is we've got that inner ridge all the way round. So if I bring one other in for now, these will then sit nicely over the top there, and then you're going to be able to stack them on top of each other. So with this one, it could be full projects. Here back at HQ, Lily, we store our craft clubs in these. All your individual craft clubs, these are going to store in here, not just the packs, but also the ring binding card if you don't use the ring binder. They'll store in there because you've got such a spacious layout. Maybe you're just going to come along and then maybe pop your stamp sets in there, maybe a whole Crafter's Companion range or a Sarah's Signature range, minus of course the 12 by 12, but you can start to section them up. Maybe you'd like to then colour coordinate your card. So you could have your yellow, your orange, and maybe like your reds in there. You could have your blues, your ice blues, turquoise in there as well. So this is where you can really start to get all your cardstock stored, get it all ready. Or maybe you are just out and about in the boot of the car, you know, you've maybe got any essentials, turn it into a first aid box. Think of all those different things that you're going to be able to use them for. So that is the open one that I like to call, whereas you've got that big space for you to store what you like in here. The other one that we've got is exactly the same. The only difference is it comes with dividers. Now these dividers, you're in full control as to how you organize it here. So when you get yours, you're going to get yours, all of these are going to be individual. So all of these ridges all the way around that you may have spotted within the original one I showed you, they serve a purpose if you're using these for your dividers here. So we've got Gildan wax, we've got Gildan polishes, we've got glues in there, we've got your red liner tapes in there, we've got glitters in there. Some of these that you could see, we could still make smaller. If I wanted to neaten and tighten that one up, I can do that, of course. So you're in control as to, are they smaller? Are they wider? Are they maybe like a mediocre? Maybe this is just one full elongated strip. So your rulers, your paint brushes, that's all going to fit in there because you're in control of having the size that you want there. Maybe it's your foam pads. So maybe you've got your set size foam pads, sections by sections. Maybe you're coming along and you've got certain colours of glitters in one way. You've maybe got your Gildan flakes in another way. You've maybe got your Gildan waxes in another column. You might want to go lengthwise, you might want to go vertical, you might want to go horizontal, and then you might decide at a later date, actually I want to change it up. Maybe I want to store other things. Maybe I run out and you repack it up. Then just take all the little bits out, take the dividers out, and then start from scratch again. Or maybe one of them gets a little bit inky, take it out, wash it, pop it back in as well. Or if you're thinking about things such as the kitchen, going back to what I said earlier on, if maybe you're a baker, in that case, always keep one for, of course, the kitchen, one for your crafty tools. But it could be the ice modelling tools that you've got. Could be the little pastry cutters that you've got as well. Could be some of the colouring, some of the flavourings. It could be some of the edible embellishments that you get as well. Or when it comes to storing all of these ones, although we've got a lovely variety of different tools that you've got, what about your batteries? What about your Lego bricks? What about your Christmas baubles and the string, the small ones, your stationery? Maybe you're into soft crafts, or maybe you do your sewing, your cross stitching. Maybe you're popping all of your threads in there. Maybe you're going to be using it to store your needles in there. Maybe you're going to come along on your desk, going with the pens, maybe your staplers, maybe your staples are in there. The little mini paper punches you've got in there as well. Clips you can pop in there. All of these different things you're going to be able to use and store because you are in full control of how it looks, how it's stored, and what you pop in it, Lily.
It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? And I love the fact you can totally and utterly customise the way that you're storing your items within that box. Whether you're going to have that full compartment totally open so you can store larger items like your A4 or US letter size cardstock, or whether you're going to segment it into really small little spaces for all those smaller items you've got and you can stash like your gems, like your pearls, like your little washi tapes. It could be your adhesives as well. There's lots and lots of different things you can be storing in those stash and stash storage boxes. They're one of those essentials. I know so many of you guys at home have tons and tons, have dozens of them in your craft room and all around the house as well, storing lots of different items. Now, just before we finish this Craft Your Stash store, we just want to mention once again a couple of me and Craig's favourites here, talking all things ink pad and pen storage, and that fantastic universal carry bag as well.
Absolutely, Lily. Yeah, we'll just give you a very, very quick run through here. Because you've got the ability to, of course, store your pens, your alcohol pens, classics, Illustrator, even your blending tools. Now, if you have these upright, Lily, these will, of course, work and store within, of course, your storage bag. But you've got three ways, Lily. You can pop them at an angle, as of what we've done here. So if you are limited on space, or of course, the wall goes at a little bit of a slant, you can do that one. What you can do is you can have them side by side, locked into each other. So if you want them that way, you can do it that way. Or what about the way that most people tend to have them? It's the way that I have them anyway, just upright. So this is the way, as I was saying, pop them upright. These are going to store within that Spectrum Noir bag as well. So you're in control, whether it's going to be straight up, at the side, at an angle. What you can then do is, of course, use them for things such as your water base. So if you want to use them for your smaller glitter pens, you can do that. Maybe even just some of your smaller pencils, you can do that. And the size of these, Lily, don't worry about them just being for Spectrum Noir. If you've got any other alcohol water-based pens, these will store in these as well.
Wow, that is absolutely fantastic. To have that ability to really customise the way that you actually store in your pen trays just makes it absolutely perfect to whatever your layout, perhaps in your craft room, or perhaps a layout on your desk where you're storing your pens. You've got so many different options. The fact that they all come out as individual pen trays just gives you that option to really customise your storage of your pens. Like Craig said, whether it's your Spectrum Noir or whether it's any other brand for that matter. Lots of options with your fantastic pen trays. And don't forget, if you are storing them within your universal carry bags, you can get tons and tons of pen into one of those carry bags. We're talking about 216 pens into each and every single one of those universal carry bags. So perfect for storing your illustrators, your classics, and so much more besides. Wow, we've talked a lot of things storage, haven't we, Craig, today? We've storage on the go, storage in your craft room. We've pretty much covered it all. Thank you so much for your expertise, Craig. I've learned a lot myself, I have to say as well.
Yeah, so it's just really, really good just to show you the ways. Of course, we always think here at Crafters Companion, because we're crafters, we think of the craft room, but it's about just taking that out with the craft room and seeing where else we can be using it. But yeah, who thought we could spend an hour talking about storage? Well, I did.
We certainly did, and more to spare as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and go and get those craft rooms organised with all your brand new storage.